Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Guys and gals, today I'm going to do something really cool, I think. I'm going to show you guys my Star Wars collection as it is right now. Keep in mind I had a lot more stuff up in the past, but man, I'm running out of space. I've got one room. It's the size of a 2-car garage. In fact, it used to be a 2-car garage. I've got so much stuff out here that I've had to really condense my Star Wars collection. So that's what we're going to go over today. Keep in mind, couple things. So my glass case that has my, you can see it behind me a little bit, right? Where's my arm at? There it is. That glass case behind me. Basically that, it's a little disorganized right now. You'll see it. And I'll try to put up a photo just to show you guys, but it's a little disorganized at the moment. Unfortunately, we had a little tragic accident the other day where everything just kind of tumbled down like dominoes. So, but I'll try to get a picture up so you guys can see that. But other than that, guys, hope you enjoy the video, and let's check out this collection. All right, guys, so here we go. Here's what we have to start with. This is my Return of the Jedi official soundtrack record, vinyl, whatever you want to call it. This we've had since Return of the Jedi came out many years ago when I was just like 4 years old. My mom's had this for many years. So I framed it, put it in my room, love it. Obviously, great soundtrack. It's Star Wars, so I mean, all the music in Star Wars to me, it's just amazing. Here's stuff I got quite a few years ago. This is a prune face, originally carded figure from Return of the Jedi, and that is a AT-ST driver next to it. Now I got those back in maybe around 99 or 2000. Pretty cool figures. I've got one more that you'll see a little bit later. But really cool. I've always wanted some in the package. You know, from my childhood, I never kept obviously any in the package. I just play with them. So that's what you're supposed to do when you're a kid: open them up and play with them. But anyways, this is ones I did get a little later. They weren't the more expensive ones, so they were much more affordable. And again, that was like, you know, like 25 years ago roughly. So even cheaper back then than they are now. So, but there you have it: prune face, AT-ST driver. And then we go down to my Millennium Falcon. I got this many years ago at a flea market, I believe. And it was, as you can see, it needs a lot of work. It's missing the hatch right there. A lot of stuff on the inside's missing. And some more, I think there's a few things that are missing out here as well. These two right here are just the retro figures, right? It's just a retro Chewie and a retro Han. Those are from the retro line that came out just a few years ago. But really cool. I just like to have them there just because they to me they represent the Millennium Falcon, right? Obviously Han Solo does. So, but there you have it. Like I said, that's an original Millennium Falcon and two retro figures right there. So as I mentioned before, disaster struck. This is my actual case of my figures. I'm gonna try to show you guys a picture of what happened, but just to kind of sum it up, I pulled on the handle to open it up, and I forgot I've got to like kind of brace it with my other hand and kind of slow it down when I open the door, because it jolts it kind of pulls it and jolts it a little bit. And when that happened, this top shelf did not get affected, so that's the right order. That's how everything's supposed to be. But this shelf right here, they are not in the order that they came out. They again, I'm gonna try to put a picture up in this video as well, if possible, either before this part or after this part. Yeah, this whole second shelf, what happened is it's domino effect, right? So some started falling back there, and it pushed all these figures down here, all the way down to this row right here. I mean, they just collapsed, guys. They just tumbled, and most of them fell, and the weapons fell out of their hands. I still haven't like put everything back together yet. So like I said before, this is not the correct order of them, but I did at least get them in here, and you know, at least standing back up. I'll have to go through each one of them and kind of organize the way they're supposed to be, but for now, there they are. Now, as far as collecting them goes, I'm only missing 2 figures, but there's a stipulation to that. So I'm one of those people that doesn't mind buying reproduction stuff, because I can't afford it. I'm not gonna shell out the big bucks that people are requiring for you to buy with some of these figures. So all I'm missing right now is 2 Ewoks. Now those I haven't seen any reproductions of, so I'll probably buy the originals of those. They're not too expensive. The Romba and what's the other one? I can't think of the other one right now. Romba and Warlock, I believe. I need those 2 Ewoks, and I need the Imperial Dignitary. So when it's all said and done, the last 17 will be right there. You can see most of them. And again, a lot of these are reproduction. I will say the Han Solo with the carbonite, that's my original from when I was a kid. This Luke Skywalker and Poncho is also my original from when I was a kid. What else? I know there's a couple more. Oh, it's this Ewok right here. Not the Papalo is an original. It's not a reproduction, but I got him more recently. And this one right here, I can't remember his name, but that's also mine from when I was a kiddo. The rest of them are reproduction, and I'm perfectly fine with it because they look just like the originals, and in fact, they're new plastic, so they're gonna probably last longer than the originals are. Like I said, I have no problem buying reproduction. I cannot afford to buy the ridiculous prices wanted for the last 17, so perfectly happy with that. So that's those 3 rows. So after I get those 3, I'll have the entire line, 107 or whatever it is, of the original Star Wars figures. And then the very bottom of this glass case is just some of the reproduction figures. It's pretty much all of them up until the Boba Fett collection, right? There's the Boba Fett collection at the bottom. Then you got the Ahsoka, and then you got, what is that, Obi-Wan series, and then you got Mandalorian. So anyways, that's those. I think they're pretty cool. I like to open them up for these since they're not like, you know, they're not like super rare or anything. It's just fun to have them on display in this glass case. But there you have it. Like I said, some of the weapons are knocked out of place because I've got to go back in there and fix it because again, when they tumbled down, it tumbled all the way down to the bottom. So a lot of figures got knocked over. And like I said, I'll try to include that picture if I can. But there's that. Back up here a little bit. Right next to it, I do have my Star Wars arcade 1-up machine. Working great. Absolutely love it. Haven't played in a little while, but I do love the games. They're classic early 80s Star Wars games, and they're fantastic. So one of these days, I'll get back to playing that and trying to get some good scores in it. But it'll be a while probably. I've got some other games I'm working on at the moment. So there's that. Then we're gonna go up and to the right a little bit. So you should know, here in a little bit, I want to show you a Star Wars poster that I have that I'm actually gonna end up putting over here pretty soon because I need that other space for a different poster. But I'll show you guys here in just a minute. But to your right, here I got this big glass case. On top, we have the Katana that came out a few years ago. Man, this is one of my favorite vehicles. I wish this came out back when I was a kiddo. It did not, however. But this is part of the Hasbro, it was a part of a HasLab. It was like I think it was a Kickstart kind of thing. And that, you know, they had the money where they produced it. Great vehicle. I love it. It is literally the Katana, you know, from Return of the Jedi, which is basically Jabba's sail barge. The one you've seen where all the action takes place. They take him to the Sarlacc pit, all that good stuff. But again, this is part of the vintage collection. But, you know, I've got the actual old school figures up on there. Just some extras I had. They kind of go with this sail barge. And one of these days I'll take it down and we'll go through it together, guys. But if you haven't already seen videos of it, go check them out. It's an amazing vehicle. I absolutely love it. Very expensive because I did not get it when it first came out with the, you know, I think it was $500 originally, which is still expensive, but I had to pay for it a little bit more than that after the fact, you know, because I did not get it. I was not part of that Kickstarter thing where everybody got the opportunity to buy it for $500. So anyways, another story for another day. We'll talk about that later. Back there behind it, you can see the 360 Star Wars. That was the one that's R2-D2. That's just the box. I have the console down here in my little, you know, in front of my TV, but it's literally an R2-D2 Star Wars Xbox 360. And it's pretty cool. It makes the little noises whenever you open it up and stuff like that. So pretty awesome. Right here, I can't remember who did this artwork, but that is a really cool picture of Princess Leia. You probably can't see the whole thing, but she's choking out Jabba the Hutt right there. Really awesome art piece. I'll take that one down, get a closer look at it one day, but it's really cool because she has like a lot of cool little tattoos and stuff on her. It's a very awesome interpretation of Princess Leia. Really awesome. And here we have, oh my gosh, what's her name? Why can't I think of it? Anyways, we have this beautiful art piece right here as well. I believe she's a Twi'lek, and she's obviously dark. She's a Sith. So pretty cool though. I cannot remember her name for the life of me. And then we have, I know it starts with a B, I just cannot remember it. And then we have, to kind of go along with this Katana here, we have just another regular like little skiff, you know, passing by, you know, the one that's hauling Luke to the Sarlacc pit. So if you see that, we got Luke, we got a Weequay in front, we got Lando behind Luke, you know, about to make the action happen, about to set him free. We've got another Klaatu over here. So I'm not quite finished with this scene. I do want to add eventually Chewbacca and, you know, another Han Solo, you know, the one with the carbonite to that setup right there. So I'll do that at some point. Okay, backing up a little bit, I'll show you guys the glass case we'll be looking at next. Just the full frontal view of it. And there you go, guys. So this is gonna have most of our, well, just kind of odds and ends. I'll show you, we'll kind of go through it a little bit. I'm not gonna open up the case, but I'll kind of peek through the window here. So that right there is my original X-Wing from back in the early 80s. Next to it, we have a Rebel Trooper that was designed like if we had gotten one when we were kiddos. This was done by, I believe, what was his name? Sith Creations, like Sith Lord or whatever. Man, he did a great job with this figure, but it's freaking fantastic. Even his blaster pistol, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, is different, but it's designed like the ones that you see in the movie. They're pretty cool. So that's, again, a figure that's more modern. There's a Princess Leia reproduction figure, repro, or like those, that part of that retro collection. Got our a Stormtrooper in the background. Love that one. That is the 40th anniversary of the Star Wars line, the 6-inch Black Series. Really cool. Back behind there, you can't see it very good, but it's the Darth Vader one. It came with the stand. That's also the 40th anniversary. And right in front, we have an original. Now, I didn't have this when I was a kid. I got this later on in life. This is an original Sandcrawler. I don't have the remote, but everything else is pristine. Not pristine. Everything else is really good quality, really good on it. Like even the door isn't been out of shape. A lot of those doors get broken really easy because the plastic, you know, wears out eventually. But everything is in really good shape, other than the fact I do not have the remote control for it. This is a little Lego set we brought my son. He ended up not putting it together though. He just kind of played with the Lego figures. So I went ahead and just built it and put it in here, just of a land speeder and 3PO with it. And then we have a little miniature pop. I think they're called Bitty Pops. That is a little Stormtrooper right there of one. And then right beside that, we have a Jawa who's in charge of this bad boy right here, Sandcrawler. And he also has a droid with him, a power droid with him. Pretty cool. And back behind there, you probably can't see it very good, but it's hard to get a good angle. That's a Stormtrooper on a speeder bike. So pretty cool as well. That Luke Skywalker used to be on one of my old iPhones. And here is one of the last produced Star Wars movie, original Star Wars A New Hope on DVD that actually includes the original without the special edition. So it is the special edition disc, but on the second disc, it's the bonus disc. It has just the original Star Wars, just the way it was meant for the theater. So really cool. And here's a land speeder and another reproduction Luke Skywalker right there. In the very back, it's a reproduction. It's the retro series Grand Moff Tarkin that came with the Death Star game. That's pretty cool. If you can see it very good up there, it's hard to see, I know, but that's the 3-pack that came at Walmart. It was just, as you see, it's the gunner, the officer, and the trooper 3-pack. Sorry about the glare and the dust, guys. I live in Texas, so there's a lot of dust here. Going down to the second row, a lot of stuff in here. So unfortunately, these are not the Empire Strikes Back, glasses. These are just ones that came out a little later on. They were just reproduction, but they look just like the originals. I think the originals came from Burger King, if I'm not mistaken, but that's what they looked like. They just, you'll see a couple more in here. But again, these are just reproduction ones. Came out a little later, or many years later. That is a retro Luke Skywalker. That's awesome. I love that. I've gotten rid of most of my pops. So I couldn't have the heart to get rid of this one. I do love the Luke Skywalker in the Hoth gear, and that's what that pop is back there. This is a reproduction of the Cloud City playset you could get. Now that playset was just a cardboard playset. This is a reproduction of it, and I've added some figures to it. Some of them new, some of them not. Like that Lando is a retro Lando. The rest of these figures are all original, I believe. There might be one Stormtrooper in here that's also a retro Stormtrooper, but the rest of them are the from the original line back in the day. Back in the background, we have the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back game. It's a part of the retro series, and it comes with a. Obviously, there was never a figure made of this character, but it's the Luke Skywalker as he was, in his gear for the Hoth battle. His pilot outfit for the Hoth battle. So it's pretty cool. He even comes with the little hook that hooks him onto the AT-AT, and he's able to, slice it open and throw a grenade in there. It's pretty cool. This down here, I bought in more recent years, but this is an actual 1980-81 playset, a Hoth playset, and I've decorated it with some actual, all those original figures, except that is a repro Leia, so retro Leia, part of the retro series. But all this is 100% complete, this Hoth set here. And like I said, we have those guys right there are actual, you know, vintage figures, original figures. Got a couple of Tauntauns. The one up front here barely stands. That's why he's kind of getting a little help from from the Hoth playset. The one in the back I got for $5 recently, and it's got most of the saddle. A better deal for sure, and it stands just fine. It got real tight joints and everything, so it stands really good. You can see another one of those Empire Strikes Back glasses back there. This is that same Luke Skywalker outside the box, right? So I've got one in the box, you know, just like that. And I've got one that's been opened up already, but still it is the original package, the retro figure. You can see the lightsaber, the blue one, and then down below it, you can see the actual cable, the tow cable, whatever it is that he uses to pull himself up to the AT-AT. So pretty cool. Down in front of that, we have the Dagobah playset, and I've got a Luke Skywalker, an actual original one, and then an original Yoda taking care of business. He's training Luke right there. This is 100% complete, I believe, except for the part of the hook that hooks Luke Skywalker's waist so you can move him up and down. The branch on the back side, but that's the only piece I'm missing, but I think it's like $20 by itself or something like that. I'm not sure. And the foam is not original. Most of the foam nowadays, that's like for the swamp. Most of the foam nowadays has rotted away, and it's disgusting. It's like just a sticky, gooey mess. But this one actually has, this is a replacement one I bought. It's made just for that reason, just a replacement. New foam is all it is, same color and everything. It's pretty cool. And then over here, in the back, you can see my old coloring books from when I was a kiddo. That one's missing part of it, unfortunately. There's a couple more stacked behind there. And then there's another one of those reproduction glasses. But that is our row 2 right there. So I've kind of done it in order of A New Hope stuff, right? And I did Empire Strikes Back down here with the swamp and the Hoth and all that. And then the bottom one is obviously going to be Return of the Jedi. My favorite of all the Star Wars movies. I love Return of the Jedi. It's amazing. Even with the Ewoks that people complain about, I still love this movie. So first off, those are my original books back there in the back from Return of the Jedi, like coloring books, activity books, that good stuff. Here is a Jabba the Hutt complete playset with Mr. Salacious Crumb there from 83 or whatever. And then there is the full set of the band members, also part of Jabba's palace. They do not have their instruments, well, obviously except for the middle guy. I can't remember his name. Max Rebo? Yeah. The rest of them, he doesn't have his little flute to the right there, and she doesn't have her little microphone with stand. So those are expensive pieces. You can buy them, like some reproduction of them for a lot cheaper, and at some point I probably will, but I'm not too worried about it at the moment. That Ewoks book in the back is also, it says Wicket, the Ewok. That is also my coloring book when I was a kiddo. Now these glasses right here are my originals from, no they're not, I apologize. They are real ones, original ones from 1983, but I ended up getting them later on in life as well. We've had a couple of these original, but I think they end up getting destroyed at some point. You know, when I was a kid, I'm sure we broke them or something, but these are original ones, but not my original ones. I'm sorry about that huge glare, guys, but you can see the Princess Leia glass where she's in the, you know, in the Jabba's palace, and we got Luke Skywalker right there. Here's that other figure. I told you, remember I had another Return of the Jedi. Here's another one. Here's that other one I picked up years ago. This is a Klaatu, you know, not the one with the little, the little skirt. It's the other one. It's the one that you see more on the actual sail barge. But got him right there in his original package. Again, back in the day, it wasn't super expensive. I'm sure the prices have gone up a little bit since then, but I still don't think they're like crazy on those particular figures. Whereas, you know, there are some expensive figures you can get in the original package, but I don't think these two, this one, the ATST driver and the prune face, I don't think they're super expensive still. Down in front of it, we have a B-wing, right? It's the bomber, I believe. Anyways, this thing's awesome. I love this ship. I got this one again in later years as well. Freaking awesome ship. I absolutely love it. I like the way the wings expand and the way it flies. Really cool looking. I've always liked those vehicles. Right now, we also, beside we have not an original Emperor. That is also from the retro collection. That is an original pilot. And then this guy right here came with a mail away many years ago, like in the 90s. That's Bomar Monk, I believe, which is, you know, he's at Jabba's palace. He's got a weird, kind of interesting story that I've looked up a while back, but you should definitely check him out. It's kind of weird. You can see him. He's got that little brain in that little compartment there, but definitely check him out. Interesting character. That is my original Storytime Return of the Jedi book. That is also a retro collection Luke Skywalker, Jedi Luke Skywalker right there. There's another one of those glasses. And there is Luke in the pop. I got that one a few years ago. Love it. Again, since I don't really collect pops anymore, there are certain ones I just have a hard time getting rid of. That's another one right there, where he's actually just in his Jedi outfit. Really cool looking. And then finally in here, I'm not sure you can see very good. There's the lightsaber. It's just a replica of a lightsaber, the stunt lightsaber for Luke Skywalker. And then got a Rancor. He is in the box. I used to have him spread out in here, but I ran out of room. He's actually in the box now. And we got that last of the Return of the Jedi glasses from that group, that four Return of the Jedi glasses that came out in '83 or whatever. I did pass something up by accident, but let's go back here a little ways. I think I mentioned it. This is the Star Wars arcade one-up machine. Yeah, I did mention it a little bit, I guess, but I'm not sure if I scrolled all the way down. And we also have our little welcome mat here. But yeah, I do remember talking about it a little bit. And like I said, I will get back to playing it at some point. I just don't know quite when, but it is a fun game. Now, Return of the Jedi on this game, the old Return of the Jedi, that one's tough. That one's different. I'll have to spend a little more time with that one to get it down. All right, guys, so we're gonna move along back over here where we ended at. Now, this is all my retro collection right here. These are in the glass case below here. Both of these two boxes right here, those are still in there. I don't have any space for them right now, so all 6 of those figures are in each of those boxes right there, which they're great. I love the retro line. There's a new one that just came out I need to pick up, but I've got to figure out how to get it. It's kind of expensive and a little bit hard to find. I think it's a Target exclusive at the moment, but it's for A New Hope, and there's some really cool figures in there. But there's those. There's the first 6 that came out. And there's those 6 that were in this box up here, about below it. And then we've got the Empire Strikes Back down below that, 6 of those. And then below that, another 6 Empire Strikes Back. Now, these were ones that came out afterwards, so these are like the Bounty Hunter collections. Like IG-88, we got Dengar, Boba Fett, Bosk, Forlom. Oh, wait, it's I get them confused. Zuckuss and Forlom. There you go. And then the very bottom is Return of the Jedi. Excuse me, guys. There's the Return of the Jedi figures right there. Also part of the retro line. Love them. I think they're great. I know they're not perfect. I know there's some flaws and stuff with them, and they have a hard time holding their weapons, but I just love the packaging. It really brings back to that era, you know what I mean? It brings you back to those days. They did a great job with them. I know a lot of people are kind of hating on them, but I think they're fun to collect. It's whatever, you know, so I think they're a blast. Here's the poster that's going to go up. I was telling you there's a poster that's going to go up above the arcade machine, and it's this one right here. This is the Return of the Jedi, the special edition 1997 poster. It does have a couple of signatures on it, though. We went to a con that had both, had Mark Hamill. We got Mark Hamill's signature right here. Not very cheap. We did get it. And then we got Drew Swarston, I believe is his name. It is the gentleman right here. The gentleman who creates these posters, who did all this beautiful artwork on this poster. Don't quote me on that. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I know it's Drew, and I think it's Swarston, however you say it. But yeah, he does a lot of these posters. He's done like some of the Indiana Jones art. He's done so many. It's hard to really mention all the great work he's done. I mean, again, of course, he did all 3 Star Wars with these beautiful artwork. But there's so much more, guys. So much more he's done. So let's go to the very top now. As I mentioned those pictures up there earlier, we also have an original AT-AT, which I never did get as a kid, but I got a complete one later on. And that's what that one is, complete, with the guns, everything. So awesome. I love having that piece. That is the trilogy on VHS. That is the original trilogy right before the special editions came out. So that's how they were, how they were before all the CGI got added to it. I've had that one since I was a kid. That little bitty mini rig is what I think they called those. That was one for Empire Strikes Back. Had that one for many years. Got this one a few years ago. Another great piece I've always wanted. It's the Imperial Shuttle. It looks amazing. I think this one's 100% complete. If it's not, it's damn near. But there's the Imperial Shuttle. Beside it, we do have an Imperial officer. We've got Grand Moff Tarkin in front of him. That's the Grand Moff Tarkin from the retro collection. And we have an original Royal Guard next to Grand Moff Tarkin. A little bit further down, we have the playset for the Ewoks playset. And it's almost complete. I think it's missing a couple pieces like the net, and I think it's missing the drum. But other than that, almost 100% complete. We got a little Ewok and a speeder right there. I think you can see it maybe. We've got some, these are, so the one sitting on the speeder bike is a real Scout Trooper from '83. Those two guys, as you can tell by the white, look how white those guys are. They're like clean teeth versus dirty teeth, right? Those two guys are from the retro collection, but like I said, the one on the bike is an original one. We've got retro collection Han Solo up there, and that is an original. Those three are original right there. That's an original Rebel Commando, original Ewok, and original Leia in her poncho. But it's not. It's her poncho's missing. So there you go. Let's go back down the vehicles, and we'll look at the pictures after that. We got Darth Vader's TIE Fighter with a retro Darth Vader in front of it. We've got just a regular TIE Fighter. That one's mine from my childhood. The Darth Vader one is not. I got that one later on in life. And that, there's a tiny, I'm sorry, there's a huge glare on it, but there's a tiny little pilot right there as well. I think it's a TIE Fighter pilot. Oh, if I can get a good angle of him. Yeah, a little tiny pop as well. Got this one when I was a kiddo. This is, of course, the transport from Empire Strikes Back. And then right next to it, we have another ship. What is this? The Y-Wing, I believe. Yeah, that one's complete. It's almost complete. So there's two parts to the bomb underneath there. It's missing the back part. But other than that, it has everything else. So not a very good angle, but that's the best I could do. Across the top, we've got some pictures from one of our first cons. We got autographs from Shock T. All three of those pictures right there. That's the model that played at Shock T. As you can see right here. And there's another one. And then we got Billy D. Williams' autograph right there. We've got Peter Mayhew's autograph right there. And then we got the actress that played as Boris Offee right there, which is Boris Offee's right there behind Samuel L. Jackson. So pretty cool. And I think that's about it, guys and gals, for now. I've got more Star Wars stuff. This is all the stuff I have on display currently. I'm actually trying to condense my collection. So this is all the stuff I plan on keeping and have other things I will be getting rid of at some point. So let me get a better shot of all this. But that's generally what we have here, plus the stuff across the top. And there you have it. Like I said, I do have some other Star Wars things. There are a few things I'm still going to keep. I'm just going to have to store them. And then there's also, you know, like I said before, stuff I'm just going to get rid of. I just don't have the space for it. This is all the space I can really allow at this point. I am going to move those two, the record and the two figures, over above the Millennium Falcon, because that's kind of where the Star Wars stuff starts right there. Right now I have it above the Terminator 2 arcade machine. My Star Wars stuff really starts a little bit further over. And then, like I said, I'll put the Return of the Jedi poster up right there, because I'm going to put, where it's at right now, I have another poster to put up right here. It's an Aliens poster, and it has a lot of autographs on it. So, but for the time being, that's what I have set up. Sorry about it's a little bit disorganized, because like I said, I need to fix the figures in there a little bit. And I need to kind of clean up just the whole area a little bit. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the tour of my Star Wars collection as it stands right now. Let me know your thoughts, and what do you guys have out there? Is there, in this group, do I have any Star Wars collectors as well? I know I do mostly movies, but again, we also, you know, do collectibles in this on this channel of mine. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed it today, and we will certainly catch you on the next one. Everybody be safe out there. Take care.